tonight, as usual, I have a box. So let us see what is in that box. And I'm hoping what's in the box is happiness and joy, as that is the whole point of, you know, hobbies and doing stuff for fun, is to get enjoyment out of it, not to waste your money and or time. So we'll see if this product delivers. Oh yeah. Now, oh, lots of options there. And if you are observant, you've probably already seen the one that I got. I got this one. So now, what is this exactly? This is the RC ERA C138 Bell 206. Now that name is quite a mouthful. Basically, RC ERA is the manufacturer. C138 is sort of the model name, and Bell 206 is actually the real-life aircraft that this replicates. So unlike the last one I unboxed, which was the Hero-Copter, this actually is modeled after a real-life helicopter, known as the Bell 206, with Bell being the manufacturer and 206 being, you know, the model name. Kind of like Toyota Corolla. Toyota's the manufacturer, Corolla is the model. Aircraft companies do the same thing. You have the manufacturer, and then each product has its own individual name. So let's just, and it is much bigger than the Hero-Copter, I can tell you that right now. I'm gonna do a size comparison in a little bit, but it is much bigger. At least I feel like. So anyways, I'm just gonna get everything out of the box, and then we'll get to looking. This is all the options that this company offers. I'm guessing these are future models. See how these are blacked out? I'm guessing that's gonna be future products. But you don't care about that. That's why you're here. You're watching this one specifically. So there's the aircraft. There's the included battery. There's the transmitter. Some goodies. Some spare blades and some dead tree material. Let's get this camera down and get to the point. Okay, so here is a better look at the transmitter. For starters, it takes just 4 AA's that I have preloaded. You know, I wanted to give it a test fly before I talked about it some more. Anyways, so it's the same controls as any RC helicopter. Your left stick pushing up increases altitude, pulling it down decreases altitude, and in the middle is kind of like idle. You know, it just kind of hovers there. This is yaw right, Y-A-W, yaw. This is yaw left. So on a helicopter, this is yaw. So yeah, yaw right, yaw left. And now this stick, your right stick, it's called the cyclic. That's what it's actually called on real helicopters. The stick that does this, it's called the cyclic control. So this is cyclic forward. This is cyclic back. So again, I'll do it like this, probably easier to replicate. So cyclic forward, cyclic back. This is cyclic right, that is cyclic left. And this is what cyclic is. It is that cyclic right, cyclic left. And you do a combination of of everything you need to do at once to basically get the vehicle to do what you want it to do. So you see, it has an on-off switch. This is the speed or mode select switch. So mode 1, mode 2, and mode 3. And what this does is basically the speed mode. It basically controls, I guess if you will, how sensitive all the controls are, or basically it limits how quickly you can move the aircraft. So 1 is for, you know, beginners, 2 is intermediate, or I guess quote normal, and the 3 is like advanced. So it basically uncensors the aircraft more. The higher up you go in the modes, the faster you can fly, basically, is what it does. And like most, it has trim buttons. So this is your yaw trim. So that would trim the yaw right. That would trim the yaw left. That would trim cyclic right, trim cyclic left, cyclic forward, cyclic back. And what this button does, I don't believe it does anything. The manual, which I'm actually going to get to in a second, does not explain very well really anything. It just says this is the debug switch. Now, I don't know what that means. I cannot find any information on the website. I know for the Hero-Copter, that's actually taken apart, and I'll explain why in a second. This switch actually wasn't used for anything. And I have a sneaking suspicion this brand and this brand are actually owned by the same company, because there's a lot of similarities in their chassis and designs and its construction, which I'll get to that in a second. So on the Rage RC Hero-Copter, this was not used, and I have a feeling it's not used on this either, because when I use it, nothing obvious happens. This is just extra blades, and you get two, which is nice, because it's only a two-bladed helicopter, so you have basically 100% redundancy. So that's nice, nothing to see there. This comes with a little screwdriver and an Allen wrench and an extra tail rotor in this little bag. I'm not going to open that up, because, you know, not that interesting. Included charger. Now I am going to open this because I'm curious to see if it is just the new standard, which is just USB-C, I believe it is called. Yeah, so this goes into the battery. See, here's the battery right here. So it does plug directly into the battery. Since we're on the topic of batteries, so this is the included battery. Let's see what size it is. It is a 350 milliamp hour. Now, I'm going to cheat and compare this to this is the battery off of that Hero-Copter I unboxed, and it is 350. Okay, so they are same capacity, same voltage. Yeah. Now, RC ERA claims it is a 1 hour charge time, and you can get up to 12 minutes of flight time, which is on par with that Hero-Copter. Because I'm just comparing it to the Hero-Copter because this and that actually look very similar mechanically. I'm actually going to take this canopy off of that one and take the canopy off of this one and take the canopy off of the Hero-Copter and compare them, because I have a sneaking suspicion that is probably the same company that designed them. And you're probably wondering, well, why? Oh, they give you two batteries? Sorry, I didn't know you get two batteries. That is freaking cool. Awesome. Okay. I don't think they didn't advertise that, I don't believe, on the website. Anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna take my part and compare them, because I have a sneaking suspicion that they were probably either, probably designed by the same company, like, owned by a subsidiary or something. They're probably made in the same factory. Now to get to what you care about. This is the vehicle right here, and it is not as detailed aesthetically, styling wise, as the Rage Hero-Copter. Depth of the details isn't as much as the Rage RC, because again, it's a matte finish instead of gloss. Typically painted vehicles are glossy. This is matte because, again, it's just cheaper. And this one actually replicates the Los Angeles Fire Department. I actually didn't choose that. I just did random draw, and that's just what they sent me. Let's see, the doors. Now you see all this stuff is molded into the plastic, so at least it's not decaled on or painted on. And again, it has the exhaust pipes. I like that. I think it's cool. The biggest difference being that this is actually a 2-blade instead of the other one is a 4-bladed. It means it's more simple. It's just less mechanically complex. Has the spotlight. Now you may be wondering, what is this for? It's like a little shark fin on top of the windscreen. That's just an antenna for the radio, big deal. This is actually part of the WSPS. That stands for Wire Strike Protection System, which is a system fitted on real-life helicopters. What it does is it prevents wires and or cables used for, telephone poles, power lines, stuff like that, from getting wrapped up in the rotor. There's a blade. Of course, this one doesn't have it, you know, for obvious legal reasons, lawsuit stuff, liability. But basically, on the real life counterparts, what it is, there's a blade right there, super sharp, and as you know, the cable kind of rises up the windshield, and it's designed to cut it basically. So you know, under a tensile strength, basically it'll split both ways after it cuts under a tensile strength. It directs it away from the rotor. Basically, it just prevents a wire or cable from getting wound up in the rotor and causing really bad things to happen. Now, it is a direct drive on both, so both the main rotor and the tail rotor have their own separate motors. Again, it comes with 2 batteries, flight time advertised of 12 minutes. And yeah, I do believe this one, it feels like it is better made than the Rage. The plastic is much thicker. Here's the Hero-Copter. You can just hear it, you know? It's very thin. You see these rear stabilizers are not permanent. They can and do fall out. I have learned the hard way. Whereas on this thing, they are part of the molding of the tail. You cannot remove these. And you can hear it. It sounds thicker. Here's just the size comparison. I don't know if you can tell or not, but maybe if I can do this. Dude, notice, you should see this one is significant. Well, I wouldn't say significantly. It is bigger. It is longer. Generally speaking, the bigger an aerial vehicle is, an aircraft is, the easier it is to fly. Now, unlike that Hero-Copter I tested, this is actually a 6-channel helicopter. So you have the same 4 channels. You have roll right, roll left, yaw right, yaw left, altitude increase, altitude decrease, forward and backwards. Now that's 4 channels. You're probably wondering, okay, you said 6, so where are the other 6? Well, so 6-channel helicopters actually control altitude increase and decrease via a different method than 4 channels. 4-channel helicopters vary just the speed of the rotor, the RPMs. Basically, the faster these blades are moving through the air, the more air they're moving, the more lift generated, air, you know, that whole story. 6-channel controls altitude via a method of changing the RPM and actually varying the pitch of the blades, also known as the angle of attack. And it's called 6-channel because, you know, that's basically up is the other channel, bottom is the other channel, up, down, up, 1 channel, down, other channel, you know, 4 + 2 is 6. And the aircraft actually, so it does that automatically. It's called the collective pitch system. So it's going to manage RPM and pitch for you automatically. So now the pros of 6-channel is, start with the con first. One con is it has a steeper learning curve than a 4-channel. But the pros to that are they tend to be smoother to fly. They tend to be more agile and or more responsive. And it's basically kind of like, you know, you have the one trade-off for the pros. It's steeper learning curve, but once you get the hang of it, it is easier and smoother to fly. And just like the Rage RC Hero-Copter, this has 6-axis gyro, which, you know, isn't really a 6-axis gyro. There's no such thing. It's a 3-axis accelerometer paired up with a 3-axis gyro. Basically, simply put, it makes sure the aircraft doesn't do it's making sure it's not doing anything you don't want it to do. Hopefully this one works better than the Hero-Copters. Okay, so we are back. I have it taken apart. Have the guts exposed. I have to kind of show you how an RC helicopter works. Now again, how helicopters work in real life is all the movement is controlled by just varying the pitch of the blades. So I'm going to command it to go forward, and you can kind of see that? That right there is called a swash plate. And there are 3 servos. A servo is basically just a finely controlled electric motor. So you see that. Oh, come on. See, that is 1 servo kind of doing its thing. You see there's 1 back there mirrored on the chassis. And then you have 1 on the back. See, that goes up. So as those two go down, that one goes up. So again, you kind of, it's kind of like this. You have the two in the front, the one in the back, and they work in tandem. So that's telling it to go forward, that's telling it to go back, that's telling it to go left, that's telling it to go right. Basically how that works is as this rotor spins, that swash plate activates these push rods, and it basically, the blade kind of wobbles. So you see when I'm telling it to roll right, you see it pushes a swash plate like that, so that rod goes up. So every time a blade passes, it's gonna, you know, tilt like that, and it's gonna make more lift on this side of the aircraft. It's gonna make it roll. Basically, that's how that works. And again, now I said 6-axis actually controls descent and ascent with the pitch of the blades. So watch this. You see that? How the entire thing goes up and down. So that's basically changing just the angle of attack of the blades. See, that Hero-Copter I had did not do that because it was a 4-channel, but 6-channel helicopters, again, control altitude with pitch of the blades. So you can see it is an infinitely movable little mechanism. I think it's amazing. Again, I kind of went on a rant in the last video that it's just, we could just, humans, we figured just so much stuff out with all the machines we have, you know, cars, planes, helicopters. It's just amazing what we figured out, you know. Now the point of doing this was to compare the guts of this one to the Hero-Copter. So lucky for you, since I'm willing to, you know, I'm a geek, so I'm willing to do stuff like this. I think stuff like this is fun. So I went to the effort of taking it apart as well. That Hero-Copter. This is the chassis and control mechanism of the Hero-Copter. And you can see, it's probably hard to tell, but it is the same chassis. So what that tells me, they may not be manufactured by the same company, the aircraft as a whole, but the chassis was at least designed by the same company. You can see the battery tray is different, and the circuit board does look a little different, but the chassis are the same. I'm hoping it's gonna fly different. Circuit board means different software. So, you know, fingers crossed it is gonna fly the same. So anyways, yeah, I figured somebody that was interested in buying this who might wanna know what the inside looks like. And so that is the inside. That is what this looks like. And I was gonna mention something. Oh yeah, so to get this apart, it is 20 Phillips head screws and 2 Allen screws. So this is about the size of the Allen screws. It is a 1.5 millimeter. And again, the little Allen wrench used to get it off is included. It does not fit that well. It kind of slips out a lot. But so 2 of these and 20 of these tiny little Phillips head screws. And again, the included screwdriver is used to get these out. So 22 fasteners in total, and you can get this apart.
Okay, and now it is time to fly. Now, once it gets settled here, you can see right off the bat, it is a lot more stable than that Hero-Copter. You can actually see in the left corner of the video. It is possible to actually hover with this, as you can see. Now, just due to the nature of physics, it's not going to be possible for a 4-channel helicopter to be perfectly, from my precise one at least, to be like perfectly, microscopically precisely still. It does require some pilot input to actually keep it hovering, as you can see right here. It is a learning curve, and I have been practicing, but I can't get it to hover where I'm actually happy with it. I do think this is a much better value than that Hero-Copter. Another thing you can see right off the bat too is that it is a lot quieter too. It's not obvious in the video. You know, it's kind of hard to gauge stuff from videos, but it does not make as much noise, which again I think is nice, especially when it's flying indoors. That's really nice. Now you may see in the video how it tilts to the left. Now that's actually not something wrong with it, and I'm actually not making it do that. That is the real life helicopters do this too, the full size ones. It's called translating tendency, is what that is called. But basically, so you have the tail rotor creating thrust. You know, the tail rotor is what prevents it from yawing out of control. So you have the tail rotor wanting to push the helicopter to the right, instead the helicopter has to automatically tip to the left to basically counteract that. So it's normal. The full size ones do it. There's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't affect how it hovers. You can see it's very obvious there. Again, I apologize, I am sick of doing this. Well, I'm narrating at least. And here, I'm kind of flying around sporadically to show it can be pretty peppy and agile if that's how you want to do it. Yeah, one thing I did want to mention here is I mentioned this in our last helicopter video. Is I do like RC helicopters that actually look like real helicopters, because I just think that it just looks so much better, you know, flying than, you know, the kind of the popular style of like futuristic kind of open canopy cockpit. They just look nice, you know, with good editing skills. It's very possible to actually get to look like a real helicopter. And I've seen videos of RC cars, people make those with real, people make RC helicopters with real. It just looks nice, you know. It looks like a real helicopter flying in the air. And then I kind of jerk around with controls just to see how it reacts. Now some helicopters, no, this is actually the correct term, it's called discombobulated. Some helicopters, if you kind of jerk the controls around, it will kind of upset it, and it'll basically kind of just crash out of the sky. It's actually called discombobulated. That's actually the correct term for that. This one did not do it, but that's fine. Mainly, that's mainly concerned with helicopters that use, it's called a flybar, which I'm not going to get into it, but it's basically a weighted bar that kind of spins with the rotor, and it kind of adds balance and stability. But usually flybarless helicopters don't get discombobulated. And one thing I'd like to add here is, so this is a full flight video. I did edit one part out where I kind of was behind the camera for a while. I don't know why. I guess I didn't realize. But so I've been averaging about 7 minutes per battery. Actually, no, scratch that. You see right there? I did the one touch landing. I did that to show that it's not gentle. It kind of slams it into the ground because you get the automatic land feature. It's possible. You can land it a lot more gently yourself, and that's how I would recommend doing it. Anyways, so the batteries. I average about 7 minutes per battery. Now, they advertise about 12 minutes of flight time, but what I think they did was they gave you 2 batteries and just did 6 times 2, 12. You know, so I think they were kind of sneaky about it. I never looked into it because, you know, it's for what it is, you know. I mean, if I wanted to, I could just buy more batteries, buy new batteries, but I don't think the ones that I have are effective, considering both are like that. I think they just kind of did a technicality there, which is kind of a crappy way to do business, but technically they did it. They didn't lie. You do get points, you know, to a fight. But, so yeah, just be aware of that. It's, when they advertise that number, it's with 2 batteries. And again, it is 1 hour to charge per battery. once again. Now you can see flashing lights means low battery, so I decided to land it here. Anyways, thanks for watching this. If you do decide to get one of these, I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. I do think it is a nice value. Again, it's cheaper than the Hero, and it does fly a lot better, and I think it's built better. And one thing I did not mention during my, studio filming was it does have the exploded view with part numbers, so this is a repairable product just like the Rage RC. So anyways, thanks for watching and happy flying.